Yo, 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 what is good? It is your boy Mal back at it. Another episode of Behind the Panels, episode 7. Still pushing strong. Thanks for all the love so far. As always, we have some amazing guests for you today. We have Nicholas Ladendorf. We also have Justin Quizon and Earl Baylon. We talk about collaborations, routines, Taco Bell, as well as we digging into their current projects and what they got going on. And you know what I'm saying? And we just have a good old good time conversation. You already know how we do it here. But on that note, man, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out the website. You already know, got some dope books on there. You know what I'm saying? About to start adding some prints. Check out the merch shop, the shop. Get some of that fly gear. You know what I mean? But on that note, enough about that. Let's get on with today's episode. All right, what is going on today, folks? We are back with another episode. Today we have my man Nicholas. He is a cartoonist and he has his own webtoon series called Retcon. Correct. It's
Yep.
called Webcon. Right, perfect, man. He sent me a link. Looks beautiful. A whole bunch of issues as well. Before we get into that, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you got going on?
Okay. I'm a old school zinester from Chicago. I live
Mhm.
in Missouri now. And I will say, just to appease my this headspace is driving me crazy. There's no word balloon going there, but my stand doesn't fit. So, anyways, sorry. Uh, yeah. I've always been like a guerrilla publisher. So
Mhm.
I got into web comics because this is another way to get your stuff out there, without a
Mhm.
big budget. So I've done everything from little Xerox zines, like
Okay.
I did a bunch like these.
Nice, like little ash cans.
Yeah, yeah, I've done the ash cans. Like there's a place in Chicago called Quimby's that I got stuff in. I've got stuff in the St. Louis and Kansas City
Nice.
libraries, zine libraries and stuff. So yeah, I've just always been about like getting shit out there and you know.
Yeah, that's what's
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Now, do you, aside from the web comics, do you put out like regular actual comics and that people could buy and things like that, or is it strictly online?
Yeah, I've been doing strictly online for a couple of years because the convention culture has changed as like
Yeah.
celebrities have been easier to get in.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of people. There's like kind of two main like it used to be back in the day that you would have people going to conventions and they were like trying to find the weird books that their store didn't carry. So
Mm-hmm.
Artist Alley was kind of lit, but
Yeah.
um like more the I haven't done conventions in like 10 years now, but the way it was going was you had people who had like one character that they're like, oh, I'm a Deadpool guy, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get every poster with Deadpool in it. And so
Uh-huh.
um
Yeah.
and then you have the people who are there to meet celebrities. Those are like the main people who go to
Yeah.
comic conventions now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
with the people who are like, I'm a Deadpool guy, that's why you get those artist alley booths where they have like a tower that King Kong could climb, that uh that it just has all these posters because the way to make money is to have every single character that someone could be and maybe have
Yeah.
a few that they didn't expect to care about.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
never wanted to play that game. So when I was doing it, I was pushing my books, but then I was also doing posters of like paintings and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And uh like I was breaking even for a long time and I was willing to do that, but eventually I started losing money and I'm like, yeah, if I'm going to not make money, I can put my comics up for free and get more people to read them.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah.
like you said, man, the convention scene, it's mostly heavily pop culture now. Like everybody
Yeah.
wants to celebrities, especially if you go to like the bigger conventions, like
Mhm.
I still prefer the local ones, the smaller ones, because I feel like the people coming to those they're coming for like Artist Alley and things like
Yeah.
that, like they're looking for, new creators or creators they're familiar with and some new material, they want to actually read comic books or something they want for their collection, but the big ones, even the semi big ones, you know what I'm saying? They're all, they all for the celebrities or some sort of celebrity that's there, you know?
Yeah. I was hoping that there would be an evolution where the micro convention would come back. Like
Hmm.
back in the day, oh man, I can't remember the name of the podcast, but they had a micro convention next to Dark Tower Comics in Chicago where there's just an empty store at a mall, and they threw a mini convention in there. And like,
Hmm.
now my memory of it might be making it better than it was. I thought they had a DJ spinning and stuff. but, but maybe it wasn't that cool. But anyways, uh,
That's a
you
good
know,
idea.
there was like a thing like that. I wanted to start like a whole like Doug what is it Doug Temp or Ben Templesmith, the guy who did 30 Days a Night. He like didn't get a table at SD or San Diego Comic Con, and he did a bar con, and so they set up their own mini convention in a bar outside of San Diego Comic Con. And I was trying to get some local artists to do something like that, where we do like a road show and hit some of the small towns around here.
Yeah, that's a
And
good
because like
idea.
a lot of these small towns, they have like a microbrewery that just want
Hmm.
people to come in and have
Yeah,
events,
yeah, absolutely.
and but I can never get anybody to sign in on that. So
Mm.
that's the drawback of being like a difficult person. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. That's actually a pretty good idea. A little micro con like that, That's
yeah,
that's actually a very good idea. I'm surprised I don't see more of those. I mean, I see the little, the little local ones at your local fire department or some sort of like
yeah,
a hall or something, but I, especially where I'm at, I don't really see much of those. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, those would
Um,
be cool.
there are things like school conventions and library
Yeah,
cons. But
yeah.
I don't know about other places. My library con started charging as much for tables as the small conventions, and
Wow.
I'm like, out of principle, I'm like the I shouldn't be priced out of having a table at the library. That's unethical. And I
Yeah.
let them know it too, and then I never heard back from them. I think they raised the price after I said that too, out of spite.
Wow. Wow. Because even like a small convention, tables are going for like, I've seen 150 plus, you
Oh
know?
wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I
Yeah.
haven't done them in like almost 10 years. I think 2018 was the last time
Mhm.
I did one.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so which was kind of smart on my part because COVID.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I did
uh,
one. The last one I did was right when things started opening up after COVID, when we
yeah,
started kind of trying to get back into that norm and conventions started becoming a thing again. I think I did
mm,
like one and haven't done one since. And before that, it was like 2019 before COVID. Damn, it's been almost 10 years. Crap, I'm
yeah,
starting
it's
to.
crazy.
I didn't realize how fast time went.
Yeah,
Wow.
no,
Jesus, I didn't really
it's
think of
nuts.
it like that.
Yeah, I like I said, I just stopped doing them because I was starting to lose money, and
Hmm.
like I tried to get really into it, and I accidentally like double booked a convention. Like they're both
Yeah.
the same weekend. I got screwed up because I was doing a horror convention and a comic convention in Arkansas, and uh, the previous year the horror convention was much later in the year, so I didn't
Hmm.
think that they would line up,
Yeah.
and they would not let me out of that table. They were in Arkansas. They were like, no, you pay. I was like, and I was doing a Kickstarter at the time, so I was like, oh, can I was like, oh, it's cool. I'll just like put a bunch of promotional stuff on my table, and they're like, well, you can't have a table where nobody's sitting at it. And I was like, okay, so you're gonna physically take down the table? And they're like, no. And I was like, so you're gonna have a table there with nothing, with nobody sitting there,
Yeah.
but I can't put my stuff on my table that I paid for because I'm not going to be there. You
Yeah.
know, so it is bullshit. And
That's crazy.
yeah, and I don't think that they're the only convention to have a policy like that.
Mm.
Uh, but I'm just like, there's this uh yeah, and I'm sure if they announced on their page, hey, we have a table, we had a cancellation, we have a table open, they could have refunded me and got somebody else in there, but
Yeah.
they didn't even do that, and
Yeah. I
so
guess they just don't want to lose out on your money. They wanted to keep
yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, it's as far as I know, they could have resold that table, and I wouldn't necessarily know. I didn't.
Exactly. They would have
Yeah,
got like double the price for one table.
yeah. And I believe the guys. I could be. I don't want to say what con it was because in case I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that those guys got in trouble for doing some shady business practices after that.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, you know,
I think
yeah,
I mean I feel like there's shady shit happening everywhere
yeah,
in all business, and I wouldn't be surprised. To be honest, I would not be surprised at all. You know,
yeah. I
everyone's just it's all about that dollar. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
all about
well,
that
and
dollar.
it's rough because you kind of have to be that way to a certain degree, you know.
Yeah. Hmm.
But there's definitely a line, and I think
Yeah,
some of these convention
absolutely.
people are crossing it. So, uh, yeah. Well, there is a guy here who's local. This is like a super specific because this is such a small convention, but there's a guy who does a convention called RubleCon, and like
Okay.
every dollar extra he makes on the convention, he makes the prize for the cosplay costume or contest.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
cool.
so yeah, but uh you know, I don't so he can't expand though because
Yeah.
you know because he's not that you know that type. So
Yeah, no, I hear you. So
yeah.
your webtoon series, you mentioned that they're retold stories of stories that went back into the public domain.
Well, okay, so they're not retold. What they are is the initial concept was what so my philosophy in life is that everyth's a turducken. And and so there's so many layers to everything I do. And I
Yeah.
don't know how much of it is on the page. Like I told my friend about it, and he had read the whole series. He's like, I did not pick up any of that, but now that you say it, I can see it. so, so the initial idea was if you go on like comicbookplus.com, they have all these old comics that have fallen into the public domain because you used to have
Yeah.
to have proper copyright
Hmm.
notification inside the boilerplate or you would lose your rights.
Yeah.
And now, if you create something, it's yours the second you create it.
Hmm.
And so, anyways, all these comics that had improper copyrights, and when some of them are just old enough, um, they're in the public domain, and they're all by these publishers that have gone out of business. And my initial concept was, what if I did like a meta comic about these different comic book companies instead of collapsing, they bought each other out like the streaming services are doing now.
Yeah.
And so they're all in like a shared universe. And I was in the middle of a different web comic at the time, so I just kept like piling up characters I like and
Hmm.
reading public domain stories and being like, oh, I want to expand on this story later. Um, so when you read the comic, it's as if this publishing company has been going on all this time. I forgot to turn off my notifications. Hold on. There we go. All right. So the idea is, what if all these companies that merge together have formed like have a continuity that's been going on this whole time?
Yeah.
And then I started bringing in like mythology and getting all this like other layers to it. And so the the actual plot is that um, after the Ragnarok, uh, the universe is recreated, and
Hmm.
all the old gods like Thor and Loki and Odin, they're all dead. They all died in
Hmm.
Ragnarok. And what happened was a bunch of time travelers were outside of time at the time, and with the new gods like Thor's kids, um,
Hmm.
they try to recreate history from memory, basically. And
Okay.
to replace the gods they missed, they started seeding history of superheroes. So
Okay, I'm digging
yeah,
this.
yeah. So there's like 8 different time periods, and when you
Yeah.
read it, if you go on to the original site, the Comic Fury site, which is retcon.thecomicseries.com, um, you read it in order by theme. So it starts out,
Mhm.
and you're seeing all how this superhero team formed from these time travelers messing with things, and then you see like there's like ancient Greece, and then it
Yeah.
jumps to medieval era, and then the Old West, and you just see how this team changed throughout time,
Hmm.
and how these like people who um, how they affect the different like members of the team, and and then there's other themes that I'm bringing in. Like when I first did it, all the characters are all the superheroes you see are white men,
Yeah.
and that's supposed to represent like how history's been like whitewashed.
Yeah.
So then the second arc we go through history again and we find out, oh, Africa had their own team that we never that we don't talk about. And then like yeah, and I just bring in all these like concepts like that, and then eventually, I show like, oh, this character was a woman the whole time, and so the team was founded
Okay.
by a woman. We didn't realize, and we don't
Yeah.
talk about that. So uh yeah, so we're there's a lot of that, and in the plot, and I haven't like openly said it a whole lot, but like it's in the text if you read it. The time traveling has been locked down. Like there's a guy who's
Hmm.
like kind of become like an authority on it, and he's locked it down. And so that aspect of the comic is going to end. But because it goes in this thematic order, I also designed the comic to read it two ways. So when you read it on Webtoons, you're reading it in chronological order.
Yeah.
So the first four issues are all just the time travelers trying to sort out what they're going to do, and then you see the first team that they made, and then the second team. Because
Okay.
there's these like watershed
Yeah.
eras. So yeah, I hope all that made sense.
No, it sounds great. Like now I'm even more intrigued. So do you
Yeah,
do all the work yourself?
I do everything on it. So
Okay.
what I tried to do is each time period I sampled from art of that period for the color
Hmm.
palette. And so the color, I wanted it to be obvious when you change times. So
Yeah.
I stuck, so when the time travelers are at the beginning of the time, setting everything up, I used cave paintings to sample all the palette colors.
Hmm.
And I made it a limited palette because I'm coming out with a new issue every 6 weeks, which is a
Okay. Wow.
pretty big speed when you're doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
That's quick. That's a quick
yeah,
turnaround.
yeah. So I do 4 pages a week. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and so that comes out to 6 weeks. I used to do I used to do like a 6 days a week when I was doing like this fan comic, and I was
Yeah.
like, that's a little too much.
Yeah.
so so I cut it down to four. Yeah. I cut it down to four, and yeah. So the I used a like an old what is it, like a tile mosaic
Yeah.
for the Greek period to get all the colors. Which is funny because one of the colors I used in there was blue because it was in the painting, but I guess the
Hmm.
Greeks didn't have a word for blue.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know until I was like 100 pages in. And then yeah, I used like an old what is that, like an old what did they just called them, dime, what is it, it's not a penny dreadful, anyways. I used publications of the era after that
Hmm.
for
Okay.
the color palette. So um and then the modern one, I did something different, but I like to keep that one under my hat. But I tried to make it look more like the modern palettes that you see more pinks and purples in a lot of newer
Hmm.
comics, because like I think it's the colorists just want the books to look different,
Yeah.
but that makes it of the time. So that's like another little layer that I put in there of the storytelling. Because like I'm not the strongest illustrator, and like I'm like a little too neurodivergent, on my
Yeah.
writing sometimes, so it gets a little wooden. But yeah, I try to, as dense as all that sounds, I try to make every chapter about like a specific moment,
Hmm.
so that way you can just read it chapter to chapter and enjoy it, you know, um,
Nice.
hopefully. So
No, the concept seems great. Now, you know, now my curiosity is going. You've done the conventions and now you're just doing strictly webtoons, right? Like,
well,
is there
yeah,
any
I
profit
post on
behind
Comic
that?
Fury first, and then I
Okay.
post Webtoons is catching up because it's just a lot of work to, because the comic's approaching 700 pages.
Yeah.
And then the what I do on Webtoons, it's a little bit different. So if you read the regular series, there's a companion
Yeah.
that's linked in, if you read my author's notes, where I post the original comics I'm referencing. So like um the Bride of Frankenstein is a specific person um from an old horror comic
Hmm.
from the 60s.
Okay.
So yeah, there's like a story where basically Frankenstein fights Dracula, and
Mm.
Frankenstein falls in love with one of his brides. And
Okay.
so she becomes like the new bride of Frankenstein. And
Yeah.
so yeah, now I don't explain that in the comic. You just know that he has a bride, and that
Hmm.
uh that there was like a whole complicated thing of how that happened. But
Yeah.
uh but yeah, so on Webtoons what I do is um uh I post a comic that inspired the story,
Yeah.
because most of them are only like 5 pages, so it's
Yeah.
not like heavy reading.
Okay.
And then you read the story and then you're like, okay, I know how he got here. And it's like a lot more boiled down where um like one of the comics I posted in so the companion book is called Retrospective Continuity, and
Hmm.
that's where I post all the comics that inspire me at all. Like there's a comic I have in there because I took the design of a belt out of the comic, and I was like, this is where like, because in Greek mythology Hercules gets the belt from I can't remember how to pronounce her name, but the queen of the Amazons.
Yeah.
She has like a strength belt, and I took the design of that belt from a specific comic
Hmm.
because she was in that comic, so that kind of thing.
All right. Like, is
Yeah.
doing strictly for the webtoons and online, is there any, you know, any profit in that, or you just
No,
strictly just doing it
yeah,
online?
the I'm hoping to do I'm working on a Kickstarter right now for a role-playing
Okay.
game that's sort of tangentially related to the comic. Um
Okay.
it's gonna it like all the locations and time periods in the comic are in the role-playing game. But other than that, it's not super because it kind of evolved in its own direction.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm.
I thought I was making a superhero game and I realized it's more of a comic book game.
Yeah.
And the difference being like if you want to do like a romance comic story, you can do that with this role-playing game,
Nice.
because I got like one of the big features of it is that there's not like a physical strength stat.
Hmm.
You have audacity. So it's just like how ballsy you are,
Yeah.
and how likely you are to get away with it, and so you could have, like
Hmm.
a sense and sensibility, role playing session if you wanted, so
Yeah.
you could
No,
do all those stories. Yeah.
that sounds great. That definitely
Yeah,
sounds
it's
great.
based on the Cairn system if you're in the weeds on indie role playing. So
Hmm. Yeah, I've
yeah.
never played any like the tabletop games. I've always wanted to play like Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't personally know anyone that plays anything like that. So it's
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah, and like, I try to ask, my friends and stuff like that. They're like, bro, we're not we're not doing that. Like, we'll play spades. I'm like, nah, I want to play something different. Let's branch out. Come on. And they're like,
Yeah.
no way.
You could always try to trick them like uh my DM wants to run the Cyberpunk game, and he
Yeah.
can't get like his best friend to play it, so he's gonna
Yeah.
reskin it as Metal Gear Solid because the guy's obsessed with Metal Gear Solid. So
Nice, nice, nice.
yeah.
That's what's up, man. So like how do you have time? Like where do you find the time to because you said you're doing
Oh
it all. You're doing
yeah, I
all
cheat.
of
I have
it.
a sugar mama, so that's
Okay.
yeah. I'm a
I
stay-at-home dad, so
nice. I
yeah,
need one of
yeah.
those. So, I need one.
Yeah, I got fired from my last day job and
Mhm.
for being a smartass basically, and they so it was actually the client of the company because it was a call center. They
Yeah.
fired me, and the call center's like, well, we're not sure if you're eligible for rehire or not. And my wife hated that our schedules would always conflict, and
Yeah.
so she's like,
Hmm.
I just want you to stay home. So
Oh, that's what's
uh
up.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm like the oldest cousin out of a huge family that and my brother and sister are 13 years younger than me, so I have like tons of baby experience.
Okay.
So yeah, she
Yeah.
wanted to keep working, and I
That's what's
I had
up.
no problem taking care of babies because I've been doing it my whole life. So
Nice, 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 nice. Now, when did you get into wanting to make comics? Like, what inspired you
oh
to take
yeah, I
this
was
route?
4 years old. uh
Wow.
yeah, I used to tell my mom what to write in the word balloons because I didn't know how to
Okay.
write. Yeah,
Nice.
and I was drawing comics. So
That's cool. That's cool.
yeah.
That's cool. And when did you start to take it seriously? You know what? I want
uh
to try to make this a profession of some sort.
No, I've always like I was named after Nick Fury. I'm like a second or third generation comic book fan.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah. So like I like came out of the womb basically
Like
wanting to make
already ready to
comics.
go.
Yeah, yeah, and you would think I'd be
Nice.
better at drawing, but but yeah,
That's
uh,
what's up.
yeah, no, it's just been like there's been times where I like struggled with it because I was like I just I don't have the sauce. Like I'm
Yeah,
never
yeah.
gonna make it big. You're like this is not gonna be my living, and I should do something else, you know.
Mhm.
And I just like can't stop thinking about this stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
How many
So
times have you wanted to quit? I feel like that's a common feeling amongst creators
yeah,
where we're just like, you know what? I don't think this shit is gonna work. It's a
yeah,
lot. Let me just give up and just stick to my day job, you know?
yeah. No, it's there's definitely been like when I was losing money doing conventions, I was definitely there because
Hmm.
uh yeah, I'm like there's so many like important, things to be doing out there and
Yeah.
yeah, and I just keep thinking about this stuff. So uh
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
and
No,
and I
comic.
always want to work on it seems like the thing that is the most niche. Like I've had ideas that are like pretty mainstream and
Hmm.
uh and I just don't want to work on those.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, especially
yeah,
with comic conventions, they could be a real I, I feel like they hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? They're real hit
yeah.
or miss, and they could be a real drag because the prices for everything has gone up, and you want to
Mm,
at least, at the very least, break even. And like
yeah.
you said, everyone mostly is going for either celebrities or you know I mean, I don't know about now, but I know a lot of people used to go like, with the Funko Pops and all these exclusive
Right.
merch. And, a lot of these retailers have like their exclusive variant covers that you could only get at such and such Comic-Con. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
feel
Well, that
like
ties
that's
into
where
the
everything is now. Yeah.
Yeah, that ties into the thing I was saying. Like, there's people who go there for a specific character. Like,
Yeah.
I have a friend who's like really into Deadpool. She's gonna start going to comic conventions because
Yeah.
she wants to
Yeah.
buy more Deadpool merch, and
Yeah, yeah. Oh, my
that
homegirl's the same way. She's like, whenever you go to a convention, bring me back some Deadpool stuff. I'm like, no.
yeah,
Buy my stuff. Why are you not buying my stuff, but you want me to go get you some Deadpool stuff? No, it's not.
yeah,
This is not how this works. This is not how this game is supposed to work. You know, that's yeah. It's just that's why like I haven't done a con in years. I'm preparing myself to get into them. Later during the year. I'll probably do like maybe three at the most, just to. I don't want to. I don't want to overburden myself with too many conventions. I'll do like two or three tops this year, with my stuff that's coming out before I decide to hit some more conventions because I kind of feel like you have to in a way, like
yeah,
you just got to get out there and show everybody, hey, look, I'm here by my stuff. You know what I'm
but yeah.
saying? Like,
My plan was to do more panels instead
hmm,
of having a table, and then basically get into the convention by running D&D or some
yeah,
equivalent. Like I've
okay,
tried to run some weird systems, so uh, because I've always had that like game design itch in me too. So
nice.
yeah, so that's like yeah, and I've like it used to be that I played more indie games than I played D&D. That I don't think
Hmm.
that's true anymore because I
Yeah,
have like a regular group that meets so especially if you count in World of Darkness with that, not counting that as an indie game, then it's definitely not true anymore. But there was definitely a time when it was. So,
nice,
uh,
nice.
because I started out playing Rifts and like my friend's homebrew version of Rifts, and
Okay.
that game has gotten extremely antiquated because it's like it was like almost mainstream for a minute there, and then it just
Yeah.
never won people over. So,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, I decided to give game a little try because I've decided to create my own trading card game,
Mm,
and I came up with the idea years ago. Like I want to do something different, and I've been working on it a couple years, and now like I'm kind of beta testing everything, making sure the mechanics are really working. Because what,
yeah.
you're working on it at home on a computer, logically it should work, but actually
Yeah, yeah.
playing it is a different thing. And I'm just like, this is intense. Why did I decide to try to do this?
So,
Like
so
it's
do you play
a
like
lot of
Magic
work.
the Gathering?
I play a little bit of Magic,
Okay.
mostly between Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
played it
Yeah.
a lot more when I was younger. Started getting back into it a couple of years ago, and then I felt like there was no representation of, you know, like I don't want to say like, like nothing that represents me and where I grew up and the people that I'm used to being around. Like I grew up
Yeah,
in Brooklyn. There's we play spades, we play Uno. Ain't nobody really gonna
right.
sit down and play games like that. And I'm like, how can I get them to? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
at
yeah,
least pique their interest. And
yeah,
so I decided to make a game, a trading card game that it's called Corrupt Kings. It's all about it's strictly street. It's you got gangsters, you got drugs, you got you know everything you could think of, and it's about you taking over. You got to take over the five boroughs of New York, and just trying to come up with a new game and a new concept, and
yeah,
it's not anime, it's not based on fantasy, it's just based on, the shit I seen growing up, just
yeah,
intensified for the game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah, for sure.
like it's been difficult. I thought, making comic books was hard. This is even more harder, to be honest with
Yeah,
you. So many elements, to make a game. And then, all the cards. You're talking about a couple hundred cards, and it's just like, Jesus, this is a lot. Why why did I do this? Like, I
yeah.
just want to stop.
My original idea for my role playing game was going to be a card game,
Yeah.
and I made it was going to have three stats in it, and then I discovered the game Cairn, which is a role playing game with only three stats, and I was like, so my original, so then I was like, oh, maybe I can make a card game that you can also play as a role playing game,
Mm,
but that didn't really pan out, and then it just became a role playing game, and I kind of abandoned the card idea for now. Um,
okay.
but this kind of when you get the game, uh, well, you can play test it if you don't have people around you, but you can get a what is that called? Tabletop simulator, and you can
I
play with
have it.
people online doing that. Okay.
Yeah.
But
I'm finding it difficult to like program and stuff like that. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
yeah,
So,
I get it.
yeah, I'm still trying. Um, like I looked into base 44 to kind of like vibe code something just so I could test it. I don't want
Yeah,
to make that the official version. I would,
right, right, right.
clearly invest money and make it like an official, like how you got like the Pokemon trading card game online and
Yeah,
stuff like that. But just to kind of play test it, I've been messing with base 44 just to make something where I could try it, and even that's a pain in the ass.
yeah. No, I kind of did the same steps when I was looking at making a card game, and I found people who did that online. If you go to like on itch.io, I there's like a few things where somebody wanted to make it's clearly like a paper card game,
Yeah.
but they made it a video game so they could play test it. I
Yeah.
think it's easier to get people to try it if it's a video game too, because you can
Yeah.
hold
Yeah.
their
That's why
hand.
I kind of want to do it that
Yeah,
way, just for here, because, I don't want to have to invest all this money on like these cards that eventually I may have to change and things like that. And I don't want to charge someone, hey, I'm glad you want to play test it, but you kind of got to buy the cards and it's going to cost such and such.
right,
Like I
right.
want people to try it for free, and then if they want to buy it on your own merit because you've played it, you like the play test, and now you want to try it out. And that's the route I'm trying to go with it now. I would like to launch a Kickstarter for it realistically, you know by the end of the year. So we'll see
Yeah,
how that goes.
I've had some I'm working on a couple zines that are rules for a card game that you can play. You don't have to have special cards to play them.
Yeah,
Um, my plan is I want to get the zine ready, and then I'm going to sit there and wait until Hasbro shows their ass again, and then I'm
yeah,
going to put it up on Kickstarter and hope enough people will back it out of spite. So
nice.
that, that's like one of my little guerrilla marketing ideas. But the thing I was going to say is that if you when you get your card game done, you can go on Drive-Through. Drive-Through RPG has a sister site called Drive-Through Cards, and they will custom print playing cards for
Nice.
you. So you could design your cards, upload them on there, and then people can just order your game through
Mhm.
drive-through.
Yeah, I've
Uh,
been using like when I came up with the idea, I was just, Google searching, and I found this website called The Game Crafter.
oh,
Um
interesting. I'll have to check
yeah,
it out.
they do everything
Yeah.
tabletop games. You want to make like a board game, like some
Mhm.
Monopoly type, and they also do card games. So I was like, all right, that's cool because they also have a marketplace. So I'm like, let me give it a try. My first set, my initial set that I designed, I got them back. I wasn't really too fond of it. I didn't like the design, and I was like, nah. Tweaked it all out, redesigned it. And then when I finally got those back, I'm like, oh, I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
So, once I'm done tweaking it out, I know, at least they have a marketplace. I'm also gonna, I got my website and, I
Mhm.
got, I'm gonna do the Kickstarter and all that. But the fact that they offer, that marketplace and, they'll do the printing and ship all that stuff out for
Yeah.
you. So I also like drop shipping too, kind of. So I'm like, I'll give it a try. I'll see what's up.
Yeah, I know drive-through has a built-in audience, but I've never gotten any organic traffic through them either. So,
Okay. All
because
right.
I've only done the drive-through comics,
Yeah.
um, and I don't even know if mine were available for print because I was doing a series called Cyberpunks,
Yeah.
and it's been a number of years, so I don't remember. But I think I was aiming for doing that book monthly and just having it be an 8-page comic every month, and then
Okay.
and so that's not really worth printing, and it's print on
hmm
demand prices. So if you ever like looked at
Yeah,
Kablam or
they're a
anything,
little
it's
more expensive
yeah.
for print on demand prices.
Yeah, and so that's kind of the same deal with all the drive-through
Mm.
stuff. But like,
Yeah.
they did great in the PDF market, especially on the
hmm
comic side, because like they used to be the only ones that printed D&D stuff at one
Okay.
point before D&D Beyond and all that. So
All right.
yeah.
Now, as you've been, working on any of your projects, whether it's the game or
Mhm.
your webtoon, have you ever worked with any collaborators or considered working with collaborators? Especially Facebook. All the groups, and there's so many talented, creators, whether they writers or artists. Like, you ever considered collaborating on a project to put it out on webtoons, or even maybe just actually do actual print run?
Yeah, um well, I've done a few different kinds of collaborations. So when I was in art school, we tried to start our own version of Webtoons,
Yeah.
and there was like drama with that group, so that like didn't end up happening,
hmm
And like there was an actual coup, and I'm like, why? Like, why would you do that? It's so stupid.
Everybody
Yeah,
wants to be in power. I feel like
yeah,
everyone, they'll go with the idea, but then they want to. I feel like most people in the group want to be the decision makers for some reason.
yeah.
Like,
No, it's crazy. I just
yeah,
don't like you could always start your own thing if you really want to be in charge that bad.
yeah.
Like,
I'd rather work with a group. Everyone plays their role, and
yeah,
that's less for you to take on because there's a lot to do when you putting out a project. This is a ton. Like, you're doing everything yourself. You said you're writing it, you're drawing it, you're lettering. It's a lot. It's a lot for just one person. And then you got to
yeah.
be on the business side of it after that. You got to sell it, market it. I'd rather work with a good team, a team that you can trust, that's gonna rock with you.
Yeah, so I've done so I've done a number of collaborations like on a like publishing site like my the site Comic Fury where I host my stuff. We there was like a compilation or an anthology that I was like part of, and I didn't have a whole lot to do with the decisions on that, but there was like another one that I tried to get involved with. So I've done a number of things like that, and then uh it, so this is like one way the pandemic really like screwed things up for me. We were starting like a bunch of local artists. We're
Yeah.
starting our own comic company, and they are all the books were really different, but they were tied together with they all take place in this town that has like an obelisk in the middle of town that like nobody in each book had a different explanation for how the obelisk got there, and it doesn't really make sense. It's supposed to be like kind of an eldritch element to it.
Yeah.
And the pandemic happened, and then the comic book store that was like our backer, they went out of business because the
Mm,
pandemic, and
yeah.
yeah, and I was it was a great team. Like and
hmm
now I was still mostly doing my own book. This guy was doing the lettering for me, and he designed the logo and stuff, and the lettering is like not especially a strong suit of mine either. So I was more than happy. So that
Yeah.
that's the most. Yeah, I've done some art challenges and stuff to try to team up with something, but never nothing really ever stuck as far as that
Mhm.
goes. Yeah, none of my collaborations have gone uh, that well. But I'm
Mhm.
also like, um, I'm always like a hit the ground running kind of person
Yeah.
anyway.
Hmm.
So, it's kind of hard to find someone who like matches that energy too.
Yeah.
So,
No, I feel you.
um,
Hmm.
yeah, and like even I'm really the way I do retcon is such like a fly by the seat of my pants thing. Like I don't know what's going to happen on the next page. I when I sit down on one of my days I update, I draw the thing and I make the dialogue fit the page, and I know roughly what's going to happen in a chapter,
Hmm.
a couple chapters ahead. But like things can radically change based on what I have room for, and
Hmm.
but it keeps it like that's how I've been able to do several books that are over 100 pages.
Okay.
And this
Okay.
this one's approaching 700 because
Have
it's
you ever had to scrap any revisions and start over while
um
you're doing this process?
yeah, I'm more like uh so I can't go down that road because if I do that then I'll never get anything done. So
Yeah.
uh
That's why I
yeah,
ask that
so
question a lot because it's like, you
yeah,
know, we because as a creator we know we could do better. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
I feel like knowing that and we keep like you've got to be strict with it. Like, you know what? It's good. Let it go. If not,
yeah.
you're never good. You'll be redrawing this page or rewriting this paragraph for like 10 years. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
I'm
Like you
still
got to
putting
let it
out
go.
bad pages. Like
Hmm.
when I was growing up, you'd always see like comic artists in like Wizard magazine and stuff saying everybody's got 1,000 bad pages in them. I have passed that number by a lot, and I'm still putting out bad pages, and so like I just have to like live with it when
Hmm.
something comes up. So uh,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, personally, I don't believe in bad pages or bad
yeah,
stories because you never know. Someone may actually like it. Now it may not be the best that we've put out, you know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure, somewhere down the line, someone's gonna be like, "Oh, I kind of like it," and
yeah,
besides, I feel like even if you're a major artist or a major company, come on, how many times have Marvel and DC and Image put out trash? I feel like it's just part of the routine. Sometimes you just got to get it out and you take the criticism and you just do better next time. You know what I mean? I feel
yeah,
like that's just a norm for everyone, on all platforms.
yeah. Well, so my philosophy on it has always been like, because my the head of my like illustration department at my art school, he always said that your style is the sum of your mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And wait, actually, that's my. He said your style is your the sum of your shortcuts. I
Okay.
changed it to the sum of your mistakes
Yeah.
because I'm more cynical than he is.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah. Uh, so like I was doing like a rotoscope style for a while that like
Mhm.
it just murdered my wrist because I had to draw it with a mouse.
Yeah.
And I thought that I was like, oh, this will be my like my this is like my more mainstream marketable style. And but I had to photo shoot reference everything. Um and the and I had a way around that. I had like software that I could do it was like one of the versions of Poser. Um but there's like a filter on CS3 Illustrator that could do something very similar. And I was like, oh, like every graphic designer can do this style. So I can't
Hmm.
market the style because uh, anyone can do it basically.
Yeah.
And I was told that that's not true. That like it's clear that I made choices and stuff like that
Hmm.
that not everybody would make. But but I didn't want to compete with graphic designers, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna try to push myself to be as cartoony as possible, and a
Yeah.
style will emerge out of that, and it'll look intentional. But I guess I've been doing the wrong kind of practice because I just never developed that draftsmanship ability.
Yeah.
And so when I say I have bad pages, I mostly mean from like draftsmanship,
Hmm.
point of view. Uh, but yeah, I like to think whatever I'm doing is interesting because like I'm always thinking about stuff like I said where I'm sampling colors from a cave painting to make
Yeah.
it feel like it takes place in that era,
Hmm.
and so
I like
I
that.
think
I like that idea.
yeah, so I think what I bring to it that way, it just it seems like wherever I live, there's like always a group of artists where like most of them are like, what is this guy doing in this group? He's like not on our level, and then but there's always like one guy, and it's often like the most talented guy who's like, no, he's doing stuff that's kind of cool,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, I don't know, like I'm the in there with like the what the early adopters like, I guess. So
Yeah. No,
uh,
sometimes it's good to be different and not, not kind of pumping out what everyone else is doing. Sometimes
yeah,
just
yeah, like
being
I
completely different is it's better. Sometimes it's a lot better, you know?
yeah. It's there's definitely a place for artists like me in the ecosystem for sure.
Hmm.
It's just you know, trying to figure out how to make enough money to like my computer is like literally cracked in half. Like I have duct tape holding my laptop together
Mm.
because
Yeah,
I can't afford to fix it. So
I've had those.
yeah. So, that's where the balance is, like
Hmm.
I'd like to make enough to update my equipment, but
Yeah, yeah.
other than that,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
I would be doing something else if I was motivated by money. So,
Now, would you go back to just, doing print and hitting the conventions and trying to, you know, let's I need a new computer. I need some new equipment. Let's start. I got to start making some money so I could
yeah,
upgrade my equipment.
um, yeah, if I saw a path for it, that's like
Yeah.
how I need to have a clear vision of something before I do like anything in life. And so
Oh
if
yeah,
I
absolutely.
Yeah, so if I see a way to do it, even if it's like I've done some like Hail Mary kind of stuff in my life, and but I think like having like a clear a vision like that is like what makes me able to get stuff done. Like I've tried to
Mhm.
do podcasts and stuff, and then like my collaborators on the podcast, they started wanting to do something different than what we originally talked about, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, this was the plan, and
Hmm.
we had the plan this way for a reason, and so
Hmm.
it hasn't always worked. And I know my DM's going to think I'm talking about him, but I'm not. So
Yeah, I feel like, once we come up with an idea and we push it through and move forward, sometimes things tend to, as you progress and you learn and
yeah,
you're building, sometimes, a little tweak here and there, you know, works. But, as long as you stick into the core
yeah,
idea that you originally came up with, like with the podcast, I want to create, I don't want it to just be about, a creator and their projects. I want to learn about the creator. I want to learn about how they create, what it means to them, like the good, the highs and the lows, like I want it to also be like informative to, you know, new creators that they want to take that next step into, what, I've been drawing all my life or I've been writing. Let me try to put this to work. And, they coming across this and, just listening to everyone's stories, kind of, you know, give them an idea of what to expect because this is not an easy. It's not an easy task. It is so hard, especially,
yeah,
you're probably one of the only few that I've met that does the whole thing by themselves. And
mhm.
that to me isn't, and that's an incredible feat in itself. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, I think there's a lot of merit in that. I used to work for a print shop. Like I grew up in a print shop, but when my grandfather was retiring, this guy that he owned a different one. He hired me because his business was expanding. But I always
Hmm.
thought it was pretty cool that like as the owner of the company, he knew how everything in the company worked. Like I made the
Yeah.
printing plates. He knew how to run the printing plate machines. He knew how to run the presses. So if somebody was sick, he could like step in. You know,
Yeah. Hmm.
like the only thing he might not have known is the graphic design, but I think he knew a basic level of that
Yeah.
too. So,
Hmm.
knowing how all the parts work is, is kind of important. You know, but yeah, but that a lot of the business stuff is, it's just really hard because you just gotta. It's hard to know if you're doing the right thing or not because there's so much chance involved with it. You need to have the
Yeah.
right people see it when
Hmm.
they're in the right mood for it. You
Yeah.
know,
Hmm.
so uh,
Hmm.
you I was doing these political comics, and I had one go viral, and
Yeah.
I did not have a donate button or anything because I was doing like this run for government. I filed as a writing candidate,
Hmm.
and I was like, I'm just going to do this to promote these comics that I'm. And so I did I was vanity Googling back when Google didn't suck. And I searched my name and the what was it? It's like a really well-known newspaper in the UK, but do you remember Stumble Upon?
It sounds
Yeah.
familiar. Yeah.
Okay, it was a browser app where you could set a few interests in it and it would randomly bring you to a web page that suits your
Okay.
interest.
Hmm.
Okay, and I was the number one site on Stumble Upon.
Wow.
My political page was, and I was like, and so and this newspaper in the UK, uh, I'm I'm it's driving me nuts that I can't remember the name of it right now. But I was the number one site on Stumble Upon, and I beat out a video of a family dog saving a little boy from a cougar. So that's
Wow.
like ultimate internet cred.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like I was being a smartass when I did. If I had a donate button on my political page, I might have had money to actually run. Like, yeah.
That's
So like,
crazy.
yeah.
Did anything
So
come from that? From that? Nothing?
not a thing because
Mm.
and so that I'm always living in fear of getting caught with my pants down again. So yeah, like because like I'm not good at coding and stuff, so I wanted to make sure the
Mhm.
website worked.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just
Hmm.
got big on me. Like,
Hmm.
I never thought that it would have gotten that big on Stumble Upon, but it was my marijuana page specifically that got big, so it
Nice.
makes sense.
Now,
So,
are you a smoker or no?
no, no.
Okay.
My dad was always a pothead, so I grew up around it, and
Okay.
yeah, I'm a teetotaler. I only have one vice, so.
Okay, okay. All right. Now, do you prefer doing everything by yourself, or would you rather work with a team or consider working with a team to kind of, you know, lessen the load on you a little bit?
Yeah, it depends on what. So I make everything suited to the project, you
Yeah.
know, and that's it. Just depends on what the project is, and like, right now I'm so used to doing. Um, so I used to write out my scripts and then draw them, like a
Hmm.
regular person,
Yeah.
and I I had to stop doing that because if I put like when I drew somebody's smile, if I hit a certain angle, it's like, well, they look kind of sarcastic, so I'm gonna have to change all this dialogue now, you
Yeah.
know. Or like when I'm drawing things, I'm like, there's like a line there, and it's like, oh, this is gonna flow weird, if I have to put the dialogue here or whatever. So why don't I? Why don't? So I always had to change things. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna draw stuff, and
Hmm.
then because that's kind of how Jack and Stan did it, that
Yeah. Hmm.
uh Stan Lee would have like a concept to be like, hey, and Daredevil's gonna fight the Matador this month, and be like, and don't we. I don't even know if he included what the B plots were, if he just expected
Hmm.
them to read the previous issue. I don't know how much on that it worked, but so the artist would draw the whole series, draw it out, and then Stan would come in and do the lettering,
Hmm.
and this is, um, and my understanding of it, I've never heard him say this because like a lot of people, but uh, I think he was doing a lot of the actual lettering in the book, so he'd write the dialogue in and fit it
Hmm.
where he could. So I don't know if he was physically doing that or if he was just art directing the shit out of that.
Yeah.
So, but that's kind of how I work is I'll draw stuff in uh, and like for resolution for the screen, I've made my font bigger. I try to make my font bigger anyways. I always thought the
Hmm.
4 point font was kind of small.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
It
if you have
is.
anybody whose eyes suck at all, they're not going to be able to read it, and that's going to be a
Yeah.
turn off. And plus, you
That's how I
probably
learned.
need. you probably need less words anyways. So like bigger
Hmm.
font, you're probably improving your writing. You
Yeah.
know?
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I remember the first when I first lettered my own comic because I'm like, you know what? I think I could. I mean, I could type. How hard is lettering? You know what I'm saying? I could take that on. I don't want to pay a letterer to do it. And then, I lettered the whole thing, and then I'm just like, no, it's got to be a little bigger. Like, this is hard
yeah,
for my eyes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I've also considered like if I did work with a collaborator, would I just like draw the thing and then tell them to redraw it? Like if I was working with another artist, be like
Hmm.
redraw this, you know?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So, but like I said, the people that I've tried to work with,
Hmm.
they just didn't have the follow through or the
Yeah.
confidence or whatever.
Hmm.
So,
hmm But you're still
um,
open. You would still consider work with as long as you had the right team, the right ambition. Everyone's yeah, let's do it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Let's
If
get
we
it in.
if there was something we had like, you know, if someone had a particular art style, or
Yeah.
they had like a particular interest and wanted to do something on, I'm trying to remember the last time I did one where, uh, where, uh, um, where that happened. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I've done a lot of stuff. Like a lot of the collaboration I've done too is I've had a lot of friends that were filmmakers,
Hmm.
and so they were like totally in charge on everything we worked on, because
Okay.
I would throw in my 2 cents or whatever, but
Yeah.
like they were ultimately in charge of it, and so it was kind of up to them, and yeah,
Yeah, no,
so
I hear you. All right.
yeah,
Now let me ask you, what is the most underrated part of being a creator, in your opinion?
most underrated. Okay, hmm, yeah, this is definitely a it depends on what day of the week you ask me kind of thing. Uh, so having um the thing that I'm kind of going to is that I have this friend who said that, like I'm really interesting. I'm like, well, I don't know. I sit home 90% of the time. Am I that interesting?
Yeah.
And um, but I think that being a creator makes you have opinions on the world.
Hmm.
And there's definitely people who are cruising through life who are just kind of like NPCs,
Yeah.
like. And I think being a creator, you have to think about like the like like a vision of the world,
Yeah.
and so yeah, I have so one of my like my childhood best friend, we used to get together on Sunday before we played D&D, and I was writing prose at the time because I was like, my art's not improving. I'm gonna try to do more focus on my writing, and so I was writing short stories, and he was working on a book, and we would print out our shit, and on Sunday morning we would trade and break out our red pens,
Hmm.
and he's always struggled with like depression and stuff like that, and he's
Hmm.
like, as miserable as writing makes me, like or as miserable as I am, think being a writer and stuff like that, like the joy of when you craft like that perfect sentence. He was
Yeah.
like a big follower of Hemingway, so
Hmm.
he always wanted to like he always wanted really crisp writing and
Yeah.
everything. So he's like, yeah, like the joy you get in that moment, like nobody other people don't experience that.
Yeah.
And
Yes, I agree. I agree
yeah,
with that 100%, man. Like
yeah,
it's a different feeling. And unless you are a creator, I feel like that's a feeling that's hard to replicate. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially, when you're depressed or your mental health isn't where it should be, those little I call it a little win. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Where
yeah,
it'll that little win right there because you wrote a great sentence or a great paragraph or short story or whatever it is you wrote or created, kind of just boosts your self-esteem a little bit. Like, damn, this
yeah.
was
No,
this was
it's
different.
definitely a fix. You
Oh
know,
yeah, no,
you're
absolutely. I
trying to get your
love
fix. Yeah,
my two big vices are marijuana and creating. And a
yeah,
lot of people are like, "Why do you create so many things?" I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's a God complex. I don't fucking know at this point. Like, I just like creating stories, worlds, something. I feel like if I'm not creating, I'm not doing anything. I'm not living up to my my fullest potential.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely get a lot of I always I'm more like a shark, like I feel like I'm gonna drown if I don't keep swimming kind of thing, you
Yeah.
know? And and it's because when I was very young, I don't remember if it was because I was at like a very early convention. They had like a Marvel Fest in Chicago,
Okay.
and like I was like 7 years old, so this would have been like '86. And my dad's like, "You're not going to school tomorrow," and I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "I heard on the radio they're having Marvel Fest, and we're going." So he took off work, and they took us, and the line was huge. Um, and they were handing out comic books in line because they thought that people would get upset the line was so long. So they were giving us, they were just handing them out. Like
Nice.
I got the Iron Man. I want to say it wasn't 50. It wasn't that early. But it was like the Iron Man with the chrome cover, and it was Rhodey when he was Iron Man. So he was
Yeah. Okay.
it was the War Machine armor, but he wasn't calling
Mm-hmm.
himself War Machine yet.
Mm.
And it had the chrome cover, and he fights the living laser in there. So that was like one they were handing out like stacks. Like I got like four
Nice.
comics. Yeah,
Wow.
and then Stan Lee was there, and Clive Barker was there, and so I don't remember if it was like when I was watching those but I was in the front row watching these panels with his creators. But and I read everything I could on it. I read all the bullpen bulletins and all that, and you know like we didn't really. I don't remember people talking about the grind back then, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
but it was very clear to me that if I wanted to make comics, it was going to be a grind. And so
Oh
then
yeah. It
yeah, so
is.
like I was always in that mentality that I just always had to be making as many comics as I could all the time,
Hmm.
and so I've put out I've put out several thousand pages of comics in my life,
Nice.
like several
Nice.
thousand.
That's
And
a nice achievement right there.
yeah, and so yeah, I just started well, and it affects my mood. Like there's like a documentary on surfers, and they're talking about how they get a depression when there's no waves. And
Hmm.
I definitely get that. Like if I'm starting to slow down,
Yeah,
it starts
I
to affect
agree.
my mood.
Yeah,
So
I agree on that. I feel the same way.
yeah.
Like you know, if I'm not making anything, for whatever reason, I'm at a block or I'm just burnt out or so whatever it is, if I'm not working on some aspect of anything that I'm working on,
Mm,
it bums me out. But sometimes I feel like I kind of need to take a step back so I don't fully get burned out and don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
no, that's definitely why I went down to 4 pages a week.
yeah,
Because
I
I
kind
was
of
doing
call it a
six.
I kind of call it a little tolerance break. You know what I'm saying? So when you do it again, that high essentially,
Yeah.
you get your fix the way you want to get your fix.
Mm,
You know, that. I mean, that's my opinion.
yeah.
But before we go, man, I want one question I like to always ask all my guests, like what what kind of advice do you have to that newcomer that wants to finally put out their project or someone just looking for some sort of advice to kind of build their foundation and how to move forward. Like what kind of gems do
Um
you have to offer?
uh, okay, I've got a number of gems. So the first two I think of that were passed on to me. Um Eric Larson said at at Wizard World Chicago years ago that if you ever want to show a guy getting really hit really hard, you draw him upside down. Like,
Okay.
so that so if you're doing any kind of action, especially superhero thing, that comes in super handy. Uh,
Hmm.
I've used that shortcut a number of times. Um, and then I went to the same art school as Alex Ross, so him and
Okay.
like Steve Rude came in and did paintings,
Nice.
and he Alex Ross said that everybody should try to get into a different field before they go into comics. So go into graphic design, go into fine
Hmm.
art, go into something else, and then come back to comics, and then you can bring that into our medium.
That makes a
Uh,
lot of sense.
yeah, and especially the graphic design thing, smart because then you might learn to like money, and then do that. So that's good advice. let's see here. Now as like personal philosophy, uh, I was going to bring this up earlier. So I one of the things I like to do is like I call it sneaking people their vegetables. And
Mm-hmm.
so uh when I have like something I want to do a story on, I try to think about you make that the subtext,
Yeah.
and you try to make the story something. You try to make the story something that's like obvious on its own, and then for example, right away I was very um I've been on the Palestine issue for like 20
Okay.
years. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, you didn't care about this till October 7th." And I was like, I can tell you exactly when I cared about it. It was when Rachel Corrie got ran over. So
Yeah.
uh sorry, I don't want to be too heavy, but
It's
just to make
it's
my
all right.
point. All
Yeah.
right. So anyways, so instead of doing a comic being like, what they're doing is very, very bad.
Yeah.
Um and like I said, one of the themes of the second arc of my comic was about how like different places other than Western culture
Mm-hmm.
have had their own heroes.
Yeah.
So I made it about a group of superheroes based out of Palestine who are trying to rebuild the city,
Yeah.
and the Americans are coming in trying to stop them.
Yeah.
And they're like, uh, you know, and uh, so I made it like a superhero fight on the
Yeah.
surface,
Mm-hmm.
but like the politics are obviously there, you
Yeah.
know?
No, yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, so that's what I mean by like sneaking people their vegetables. You try to
Mm-hmm.
put in these like philosophical things,
Yeah.
like make it the subtext. The main story is like oh, this character from the 40s, Antaeus, so in this comic he made a sculpture of his ancestor, and the sculpture came to life, and the guy was like the son of Gaia, right? And
Yeah.
so I made it so in this comic it reveals that he's actually a geomancer, and so um he's turning buildings into giant statues of his
Mm-hmm.
ancestor, and he's beating people down with build like the debris of the city. So yeah, you try to front load the fun.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
no, absolutely. Yeah, man. But
yeah.
that's like I said, man. Your webtoon looks awesome. I'm definitely gonna start digging into it. I'm peaked now. My curiosity's peaked.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna get into story. On that note, Nicholas, thank you for joining us today. And I'm gonna have the links to your webtoon in the description below. Make sure you
Okay.
guys check it out. It so far it seems like it's a great story. Definitely interested to see where it goes and to see where, what happens after that. But on that note, Nick, thanks for joining us today and have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thanks. You too, man.
All right, what is going on, everybody? Today we have two special guests on this episode. We have Earl Baylon and Justin Quizon. These guys have impressive resumes. Oh my god! From what was sent to me, I'm like, damn, voice actors, video games, comics. We definitely. This is what the show is all about, man.
Awesome.
Creators getting it in. But before we get started, talking on your current projects, man, just give us a little bit of information about yourselves.
Earl, go lead on this. Yeah. Yeah. um, I was born in L.A., raised in Los Angeles. No, sorry, I was born in L.A., raised in Long Beach.
Okay.
I'm an actor primarily. I do a lot of voice, but also on screen. Um, and evidently, on the side, I do some writing as well. So,
Nice,
yeah.
nice, nice, nice. How is the voice acting? Like I never, I don't know anyone who's a voice actor, and I've
Oh, for
always been
real.
curious about it. Like I see it online. I see it online. Follow a couple creators. Like how
Right.
how how impressive is that voice acting, especially for
Um,
video games?
it's chill, man. Like honestly, like it was something that I wanted to do because I've been a gamer since
Yeah.
I was like 5 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was really young when I started, but it was never something I really thought was possible until like I played, a lot of those PS2 gen games, original
Yeah.
Xbox, started having like full voice acting in them, and I was like, "Man, I wish I could do that, but I had no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
And I started my career doing sketch comedy and improv. I still
Hmm.
had no idea, and one day just the right audition fell in my lap, and yeah, so
Nice.
it
That's what's
found
up,
me,
man.
is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Hey, I feel like that's how this goes, man. With the, within this field, I feel like it finds us at that right time, and then we just jump on it and just aim for the stars.
Absolutely, it's got to be ready when it comes. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least in the right headspace to jump into the chaos.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, Justin, man, what about you? What's going on over there?
I'm a filmmaker and a podcaster as well. I was associate producer on the feature film Lumpia with a Vengeance that had Earl in the cast as one of the leads. Um,
Nice,
and
nice,
and
nice.
also wrote a lot of the comic books for that's kind of connected to that Lumpia stuff.
Okay.
And I was in that same sketch group that Earl was in as a
Yeah,
writer,
Oh
producer,
man,
and
yeah,
director. So that's how we met. Yeah.
that's what's up. So y'all got a nice little history going back.
yeah.
Mm.
Since I think we talked about it last time, is 2007.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I met him
wow.
in
So you
2007.
you touching on 20 years.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're yeah,
Oh
When
my
you
oh,
think
God, you're
when you think
yeah,
about it,
for
it's just
reals.
mind blowing. Like, damn.
no way. That's next year's 20 years.
Yeah,
That's
That's
wild.
crazy, but it's cool. You know.
yeah. I just made y'all feel a little, just that much older than you
Oh,
did a few minutes
I
ago.
mean,
That's
you and the rest of the world, man. It's not getting escape from you.
Yeah, yeah. That just happened to me not too long ago. I was talking with a guest about something. We were talking about conventions. He was like, "It's just been about 10 years." And when he said the date, I'm like, "Jesus Christ, that's not." It's been about 10. So much happened during COVID. We forget
Yeah,
that it's been so long. Since the last time. So I was like, "Wow, that's right. I haven't really been to a con. Almost haven't done a con in like almost 10 years. It feels like five.
yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm
dude,
saying?
like
Like,
yeah.
COVID
Habits are
blended
gone.
three
Nothing.
years 3 years are one in the year of COVID, man. I get it. It
yeah.
doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel right. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, like kind of forget about that time and just blur it out, and it's
mm,
like,
mm.
yeah, that none of that, no one knows what happened during that time frame. It's all a blank. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. So what do you got guys going on? Yeah, I see the Lineage comic, that you guys are working on. That is badass.
Oh, thank you, man.
Oh,
That
thanks,
is
man.
badass. Completely, 100%. Please fill me in on this, cause I'm on the website. Like, whoa. I need to buy some of this.
Oh, absolutely, dude. Yeah, absolutely. Check it out. But Lineage is the brainchild of Doug Marcaida, who is
Uh-huh.
one of the judges on Forge and Fire. He approached the comic book publishing company that we work with, Kid Heroes, who also produced Lumpia with a Vengeance, the film that we both kind of associate produced.
Yeah.
And Patricio, who's like the creative director of Lineage, he came to us because he had been working with us for a long time, and he was like, "Hey, we have this comic book. Here's the outline, and if you guys think you can do it, if you have something for this, um, feel free to pick it up." And we did.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
Lineage tells a story of two estranged brothers who originally they were born and grew up in the Philippines, and they due to a tragic situation involving the death of the father, they came over here to the States, to LA, to Los Angeles, and without them knowing, remnants of their past start to pop up in LA,
Nice.
and everything points back home. So that's
Okay.
Yeah.
the first issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's
that's in
How
issue
many
one.
issues are out already?
Yeah.
One issue. One
Wow.
issue so
So it's
far.
definitely a impactful issue. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We cram a lot in there. For sure.
Nice.
One issue
Nice.
so
Nice.
far. We're planning four. So and
Four.
then,
Okay.
eventually the four will be put into a trade paperback. So
Nice.
yeah, that's where we're at. We're currently writing issue 2 right now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
You
it's
gonna
all
make
in
a
the
movie?
process.
Is it gonna be a movie behind it? I want in.
Man,
I want in. I think I got. I think. Listen. They've been telling me my podcast voice is very nice. So
I mean, there could be.
you know what I'm saying? I got a pretty face. Let me in. Nah.
You never
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
We never know out here. You know, I mean, the goal
Yeah.
is always to try to make as much
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
you know, a property as we can. You know.
Yeah, I'll fly to LA real quick. Not a problem. You know, so one thing we do on this podcast, man, you know, I love to get to know about the projects you're working on, but I also like to dig into the creator itself. You know, I like to dig into you guys and your creative processes, every aspect of it, especially, you know, the business side of things, man. But, you know, on this week's episode, I definitely want to touch on, you know, like everyone's like their routine, how they get into, you know, their creating process every day, or, you know, what they do, like they look their rituals and all that stuff. Like, how does a normal creative day look for you guys?
Oh man.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you got
Uh,
something.
oh yeah. Well, because like, okay, so my main job is I do social media content. And
Okay.
the day, and it's still kind of the same process because it's still creative. I still have to, you know, write and
Yeah.
figure out what we have to do and etc. And the process comes from like, for me, like sitting for a very long time figuring out what are we going to do, you know, and and a lot of pacing too. It's a lot of like kind of going, especially with like this comic book. I think it helped that, like, obviously because Earl pointed out we had the outline to go off of, so in that regard we ended up kind of doing a lot of talking and going, here's the storylines from the outline, here's what we conceivably can do, and then here's how we feel like we can get the best the most impact off of what beats the outline really emphasized. And that is like a, you know, a pretty simple conversation for me and Earl, because like we've been friends since 2007, and even then it's like from that almost, thanks for pointing it out, 20 years of knowing each other, we did a lot of like talking about other movies and other TV shows that we like and what worked, what didn't work. So kind of being like that analytical, just, and we, for fun, FYI, meant that when we were figuring out how to make the stuff in this outline really impactful, it was kind of like easy for us to go, well, we know what we don't like. So we were figuring out ways to emphasize those beats more. So conversations and creatively trying to figure out stuff with each other on those creative days tends to be a lot of fun, because it's me and him almost agreeing immediately, oh, they should go like that. And the other guy's like, yeah, I agree. You know?
Nice. I like the collaborative, the collaborative flow you guys got going on. You know, it definitely seems like y'all got an amazing partnership there. Because, you know, a lot of creators I speak to, for the most part, you know, they're doing it on their own. You know, it's just them, and, you know, they're writing it or they're drawing it, or, you know, they're really just bouncing ideas off themselves at most. So it's good to see a different perspective where, you know, both of y'all just collaborating with each other. Do you have any special routines before you get started when you start creating?
I don't know if there's a routine. I mean, like
or a ritual or something. Me, I smoke before I do anything. Before I do anything, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am not gonna
do that. Just get like lit and like and just start writing. I always say I'm gonna do that. And never
my opinion. I can't speak on everybody else. You know what I'm saying? But it keeps me out of my head, and it allows me to just let the thoughts out on paper, you know, and then, you know, from there, you know, I'll come back to it, and after I see the craziness my high brain wrote, and then fix everything up logically. But, you know, that's my routine. Every time I know I'm gonna sit down and get to work, you know, a little something, and then you know, that's my routine.
there's got to be something to that because people always say you write drunk and then edit sober, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah. Sometimes the opposite could work a little bit. You ever try editing a little twisted? It may, you never know what you may come up with. At least a rough cut.
Yeah, I would say like our process is relatively mundane. Like
Yeah.
we kind of sit like in a chat room and then we just bounce ideas back and forth, and whoever has one just types it out.
Yeah.
We pull up a shared doc, and then we just work on it together like that. I mean, and that pretty much that's the same way we work when we're in person too. It's just we sit there with one computer.
Yeah.
And they're like, "What do we do this?" And I was like, "I got something." Move the keyboard over there. So it's, and it is like Justin said, kind of a process that has been hammered out over 20 years.
Yeah. Going on. It's getting there because this year already feels like it's almost done with everything that's happened so far. Even though we're only in March, but that's another story in itself.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, so both of you guys, your day to day, your 9 to 5 is creating, correct?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you could say I have a 9 to 5, but
I mean, your main source of that bread and butter, you guys are essentially just you're creating.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they got to do this on their spare time. I wish I could just create all day long. You know what I'm saying? I wish How is that experience? But this is what you're doing all day long. Well, I mean, for the most part, I don't know what you guys do all day, but just being in that creative headspace and just making things.
I will say it's interesting because
yeah.
Go ahead, Justin.
No. I mean, go ahead, Earl. Yeah.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
I will say it's interesting because there's definitely it's great to have the kind of freedom and stuff, but there's always this feeling to be working. You need to be working. You need to be hustling, right? Because like a creative life, like I wouldn't say most creative fields, like you're not on anybody's payroll, so you have to keep on hustling. You're always thinking about the next thing that's coming up, or like what can I create to be the next thing. But it's both really rewarding, but very can be stressful at times because you don't know. Honestly, you really don't know what the next 2 or 3 weeks is gonna hold for you. Sometimes, you might get an audition. I might get an audition tomorrow, and I might be like, oh, well, I'm shooting, and I'll be shooting in a week or whatever. Things like that.
Yeah.
Or I'll be recording like tomorrow, or so. If you really like routine, having a creative life, I think is kind of hard. So.
And then since I do it like at a 9 to 5 degree, it's interesting because it's like every day I have to kind of like work on something, and and then I have to kind of, and it's weird because like the videos I do is like the social media videos I work on and do, I'm a 1-person crew, so it's a lot of just me being told we need to do videos on this, and this. And so every day I'm figuring out ways to do videos on this, and this. And some videos take 2 days, some videos take 1 day, some videos take 20 minutes, some videos take 4 hours. And it's, it could be really rewarding because it's such a short turnaround for a lot of the videos I make that I kind of don't feel precious about every video I work on because it's social media. The machine has to keep going. And so Before I got my social media job, everything I worked on, that's every video project or short film project I worked on, I treated with such like precious, like, oh my God, it's my chance to prove I can do this. But that meant that like every project can maybe be, I put a little too much pressure on the outcome. Here, because of the amount of volume I have to make, I can be excited about what I'm making, but then immediately move on to the next thing. And if the one thing I make works out and it's well received, great. If no one cared, it's okay. I got another thing I'm working on. So it's kind of been a freeing creative experience. That being said, I am still being asked to do other people's projects. So I don't get to. So it's once in a while I have to remind myself, do something that you really want to do that has nothing to do with the day job. And so doing something like Lineage, where I'm not doing that at work. I'm not writing a martial arts violent action, story at work. I have to sell product. I have to do how-tos and etc. But when I get to go home and work on Lineage with Earl, it gives me a chance to like, okay, cool. I get to flex that muscle because I love those movies or those stories. And then, like I still want to do stuff that's my own as well. So I have to kind of make time for purely me projects. So it's, creative life is hard, but it's also one of those things where I rather not do anything else because my brain won't let me do anything else.
I agree. I agree. And it's a pain in the ass. It is. It is 100%. Because, especially when you're trying to put out a project, you work on a project, now you got to start getting into creating content and for all different platforms. And it's rewarding. I love it, but it's a pain in the ass.
It's a pain in the ass.
100% pain in the ass.
It really is. It really is.
And then you got to be consistent. You have to be consistent. Like, you've got to be, like, damn near every day just making content. Like, oh, my God, what I'm going to do today. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just whip out my phone and just, here you go. It's stupidity. This is where my inspiration comes from. This guy walking around in a bedazzled jacket in the middle of Connecticut while it's freezing outside, just because the sun is partially out and wants to see the sparkles. Literally, what happened to me this morning. Literally, I'm in line waiting for some breakfast. I look out, and this guy has this blazer on. It's got like a bajillion colors on it. I'm like, the sun is only partially out. Jesus Christ. It's not that warm. It's still snow on the ground. What are we doing? Let's leave the craziness for at least April. At least April. You know what I'm saying?
10 o'clock yet, man.
Yeah, like it's too much. It's too soon. But thank you for the 10 seconds of content that I'm definitely putting up on TikTok later because this is hilarious. But still, it's a pain in the ass with having to make content. So, aside from Lineage, are you guys working on any personal projects? Anything you got coming out like solo or?
But
nothing that's secret.
Nothing that's like super ready to be out. But I'm just always writing,
Okay.
But I will say, like, what did come out, I can promote this, Earl, is that I just posted about a month ago. I posted a short film I did for a 48-hour competition back in 2024. Also, Earl's in it, and it was for a contest. It was for a contest where you get you get the prompt day one, and then you have 2 days to write, film, edit the whole project. And I am still very happy with how it turned out, but also really happy with the experience because I got to work with some of my favorite actor friends, some who I haven't directed before that I was really excited to direct finally. And then also I got to collaborate with some really talented crew members that I met on the shoot that ended up being great. So it was such a great experience that I kind of reminded me why I loved filmmaking in general. And
Nice.
that's out. It's on my Instagram account. It's called Thick as Thieves. It's 2 minutes long. It's really short, but it was such a great experience making it.
Yeah, I
And
gotta check it out. I definitely
real,
gotta check it out.
dude. That's not even a 10-minute break. You can do that anytime. Watch it anytime on your phone. Real short.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's like bathroom length.
Yeah, 100%.
Whatever that means.
And that's the best content because while you're there, you're just sucked in. I mean, for lack of better words, you're sucked in when you're pushing out, but you're in the zone. That's where the best concentration. That's where the best concentration comes from.
When it's done, you clean up. You're good. You're not missing anything.
That's it. You saw a nice video. You feel 10 pounds lighter. Back to work.
We can make a series of those. It's just called. It's called.
What was those like books?
That's it. That's
what was those books? Like the bathroom book. Remember that? Like
the bathroom readers or something.
We should just we should just do a series of videos like that.
Channel. It's just like
Toilet TV. Toilet
TV.
The best.
What you watch on the toilet.
120-second best episodes you're gonna see. 2 minutes right there. 2 minutes.
Boom.
And
you'd
be surprised.
Like
that will probably hit.
That'll
probably hit too.
Be framed like that.
Yeah. It's like Quibi, but more actually useful.
Yeah.
I remember Quibi.
That would definitely hit.
Yeah, dude.
That'll be the best. Like some craziest 2 minutes. You're gonna come out of there. Whoa, you're like, damn, it was that bad. Like, no, you should have seen this video I just watched. It was awesome. Yeah. But that's what's up, man. And as I mentioned before, a lot of creators, that I've come across so far, especially myself, work alone. We're not collaborating with many people outside of, I'm hiring an artist or something like that. And in your field, especially, making, movies and voice acting, you're collaborating with huge teams. What makes a good team to collaborate with? Like, what should people look for when they looking to collaborate with somebody? Especially, I'm trying to write this book with my, with a friend of mine, or I met somebody on one of the groups, and we came up with a dope idea. Like, what forges that? Because you two guys look like you have a great solid 20-year foundation. Like like what should people look out for? Because unfortunately there's a lot of snakes in the grass out there too. I'm saying? Like,
true.
They'll use you for your ability or whatever or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, what makes a good collaborative team?
Oh man, and it's tricky too, because sometimes you think your friend is going to be a good collaborator, and then you actually work with them, and it doesn't really. Oh no. Dang it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've come across that. That's why I try not to.
Yeah, I did.
No, you're still there. I see you.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I still see you. I still hear you.
Okay, cool. I just came back. All right, let me backtrack. Yeah, no, it's a combination of you have to kind of like them. That helps a lot. But also you have to see if your workflow is the same. And if you work, your professionalism can match. Because I remember working on stuff with folks that I'm really close friends with, and then halfway through it, I'm like, this is not working. And I'm still friends with them, but I can't. I've learned, I can't work with them, and it's a fine line. And so when you find those people, you kind of have to grab them, and they're like your tribe, and that means you want to keep working with that tribe as many times as you can, but you do need to develop a little bit of a sixth sense to kind of know if any red flags start sticking out. So, but I think it does help that if you can vibe with somebody and they get what you're trying to do and you can work with them, those are the ones that it takes a while to find a lot of them, but you'd be surprised how maybe sometimes you might how quickly you could find them. Like I didn't with the project we did. I worked with a lot of those folks for the first time on that 48-hour project, and I ended up wanting to work with them again immediately. Like, oh, you're good, So
Nice.
it takes a lot of gut instincts to try to figure it out, but also you have to kind of let your gut tell you, like, if you feel comfortable with them and you like working with them and you can get along, those are the kind of people you build your collaborations with.
Nice, nice. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And how do you split creative control? Because sometimes I feel like egos tend to get in the way when it comes to creative control.
I kind of to piggyback off what Justin said. I think ego is it's kind of a big block to being creative.
Yeah.
I think part of what the solution to that, I think, is what Justin said, to find people that you vibe with and and can work well with. I think that especially in the creative field, everybody has a certain amount of ego, because you have to have like some kind of ego
Yeah.
to like have
Yeah,
a vision.
you have to
really.
be.
But I think what really changes things is if your focus is not about like self-aggrandizing. It's not about like lifting yourself up. If
Yeah.
you're there to like, and everybody's on the same page, is you're there to make a good project, to turn out good.
Yeah.
Then that's really
Yeah.
what helps. If you just remember that, I really want this to happen in the script, but
Yeah.
this is what I'm set on, and I'm gonna push this through, and take a step back and think about it. Is that just your ego talking, or is it really something that you think will push the project forward, or will push the script forward, or this whatever you're working on, game,
Yeah.
short, anything really.
I feel like, sometimes you gotta really look at, like you just said, is it my ego that it has to be this way, or no, that's just how the project, that's how it's gonna work. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I've collaborated a couple of times, maybe like twice. I did it more in music because I worked a lot with my family and friends, and it was just like sometimes it's like you don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, you've been doing this longer than me, but it's not. And sometimes it's like, you're absolutely right. I should go back and change it because it makes total sense to everything. But sometimes you gotta let your ego sit back a little bit, because I don't know. I feel like to be a creator, like you said, you gotta have some sort of ego. It don't have to be too big, but you gotta kind of be feeling yourself a little bit, because if you don't feel yourself, why should someone else feel your stuff for you? If
absolutely.
you ain't,
Yeah.
like, you gotta have that. You've gotta have that little chip on your shoulder. Like, yeah, my shit is the shit. It should be. You should always feel that way.
Right.
Because
even if your stuff,
yeah, because even if it's the worst thing ever, you gotta feel like you got the dopest comic book since whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or whatever project. Because if you're not gonna feel that way, why should I expect strangers who don't know me to feel that way about my stuff and spend their hard-earned money on whatever I'm putting out? So you kind of gotta have a little ego, but sometimes some people just need a little deflated because their ego gets too big. You know what I'm saying? And there's only room for one person in the room.
Right.
Too. If you put this thing out and you thought it was great, but nobody vibes with it, or nobody like gets it, then ego comes into play there too. Like, you got to sit back and be like, is it the world's not ready for me, or something that's I'm not getting across?
Like they weren't ready.
That's the creative process. It's like if you have a specific like vision for this project, you can always get there. And sometimes you have to make detours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely, 100%. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, working. How's the, after you putting out your project, like, how's the marketing been for you guys? Like, is it easy to market your stuff, or pain in the ass, or you got somebody else doing it for you? I find it, like I said, going back to content creators, pain in the ass. Like, I,
Yeah.
I just want somebody to do it for me. But then again, my ego comes into play. Like, no, I want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. I
That's
will
years and
openly say
years
that
of
I'm
that.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bad at it. So,
I
Yeah.
it's tough because like you want to be humble. Part of you wants to be humble and
Yeah.
be like, oh, the people will find
Mhm.
what I'm doing. They will figure it out themselves. And then you realize, no, you actually really do need to tell people you exist. And like it's like, yes, the work should be enough, but then we do live in a world where,
Yeah.
especially when you're doing films and comic books, it's like you kind of need to tell people you're around. Otherwise, they won't
Yeah.
try it. So it's a lot of
Yeah.
It's weird. It's humbling in a new way where I'm like, I don't want to come up like I'm an arrogant, like, oh, look at me, but also I have to be a little arrogant because I want you to see
Hmm.
this, right? So like,
Yeah. Yeah.
great example of just recently what I did with the short film. Normally I would just post it online. I would post it on YouTube and or Instagram, and I'm like, it'll, I'll let people find it, and maybe it will. This time I tried
Yeah.
something out, and Earl, you caught wind of this.
Okay.
I did this thing where I had these stills from the shoot where they're like, Earl, I
Hmm.
think you were taking photos, cast photos, right? For Ticket Steve's?
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, me and Vivi, like half of those are
Yeah.
hers.
So like they were having fun just like taking photos, and then Earl made an amazing poster from those photos, but he also had all these great individual shots. So I kind of came
Hmm.
up with the idea of like, I'm gonna make like mini posters of each actor that's in the short. 'Cause I've seen that. Like I've
Okay.
seen like, oh, like
Yeah.
there's an
Yeah.
Avengers movie coming out. So here's the Captain America poster, here's the Iron Man poster.
Yeah.
So I kind of gave myself a chance to like hype yourself a little bit. So I made a
Mm.
little individual poster of each cast member on their own, and then I slowly released each poster. Like, and I gave it like 2 days per release, and I
Hmm.
tagged the cast member. I collaborated with them on Instagram so that their people could see it. So every day every other day I kept dropping a new poster, and
Yeah.
each time I dropped, someone would be like, "Oh, cool! I'm gonna make sure I watch it when it comes out," or "Oh, I didn't even know you worked on this," or something like that. So when I did release it, it got a bigger bump than I usually would if I just dropped it without announcing it
Nice.
like that. There was even
Nice.
actually kind of a great coincidence where I planned on releasing it on a certain date, but then my two of the guys in the film, Earl and Mitch, they they were in another movie that was going to
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
big release on Apple the day before I released my short. So I decided
Nice.
I've seen the film. I really like that movie they were in. I will do a video that will support his film, but also mention I got those same guys in mind. So if you want to watch both,
That's right.
why
Nice.
not? So I kind of pushed that. I made that video, and the director of that movie commented and went, "Dude, thanks for this. Thanks for the support." And I was, like, yeah, of course, no problem. And it was, I was not only helping out a fellow filmmaker because, he was finally releasing a film
Yeah.
he made
Hmm.
that he should be proud of. But I had mine coming
Hmm.
out, and it was like, well, let's scratch each other's backs, like I got you,
Nice.
and and like hopefully maybe there'll be a crossover. So it's that case of
Yeah.
like, you just gotta, you gotta kind of like believe in your own hype to a small degree,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
know,
You absolutely should.
and you got to let people know you exist. And that's really hard
Yeah.
to admit because you don't want to be an
Hmm.
arrogant jerk, but you kind of need to do it.
Yeah. You gotta find that balance, because like you
Yeah.
said, you gotta put yourself out there. A lot of people are uncomfortable with having to be out there, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to be. You gotta be on. You gotta be in character, so to say, 24 hours a day. You gotta,
Yeah.
whether you're at a
Yeah.
convention, you're sitting at a table, or you're promoting your movie, like you gotta, or making content, people gotta see you and engage with you, and that's why a lot of times, like, I kind of split up my social media for certain things. Facebook is about my comics and music and stuff like that. I keep my IG a little wholesome for the most part. TikTok is you want to see me be an idiot, follow me on TikTok, because that's just, I throw everything on there, whether it's music or, like I said, people with sparkly jackets at 10 a.m. Just the most random videos. Because TikTok is all videos, so you gotta And I like to be funny. I'm a clown. I'm an asshole. I like it. That's what people come to know me as. You know what I'm saying? So I like, that's what I use my TikTok for. So I kind of try to split everything up. So, when people start to look at my different socials, they're not just seeing the same thing across all three platforms. They're like, oh, well, he's about this on one thing, and then we could kind of see behind the curtain over there. Because I think that's what a lot of people like, too. They could kind of get a glimpse into your world and how you are outside of a convention or a panel or something like that. They just want to see, oh man, I love his work. Oh, I get to see what he does outside of being what he is, and look at his cute little dog, or what is he doing? Like, what I'm saying? Like, that's not legal. Like, why are you posting that up on TikTok? And a lot of people are hesitant to do that. A lot of I've noticed some people are just like, no, I can't do it. And I'm like, you kind of have to. That's like being at a convention. If you're gonna sit there and not engage, you're not gonna make money. You gotta make them dollars. Like, imagine going to strip club and they just standing there waiting for you to throw the money. It's not gonna happen. They want that dollar. You gotta shake it, and that's it. Essentially, that's what it is. Essentially, if you think about it, that's kind of what this business is.
Yeah.
When you're putting out a new movie, going on this marketing tour, you gotta do the interviews. You gotta do everything. You gotta shake it till you make it. You know what I mean? For lack of a better words. You know what I mean? But for Justin, you create content all day for work. Like, how does that translate into making your own content? Do you feel kind of like, oh man, I do this all day now? Like, do you kind of get, I don't know, sometimes people tend to get a little burned out having to do what they do, do you feel any burnout sometimes creating content for work, and then I gotta create my own content directly after, because this is what I want to do?
100%. Yeah, it's kind of hard not to, and it's like, and the only, like with sometimes the video, if I'm going to do a video at home, sometimes the video that's not work related, it's my stuff. It's like, it's going to be the most basic. It's going to be sometimes the most basic thing, if I have a really strong idea for something, I'll put the time and effort to make it more elaborate. But sometimes I'm just like, like there's even times where I'm like, oh, I'm going to make like a video to talk about this or that. I'm like, man, do I really want to bust out the microphone for that? Like that's like the bare minimum is to bust out the microphone. Yeah. But even I'm like, do I want to do that? And then like I have to really shake myself into going, you want audio to be good, so go and do it. Yeah. But it is. Yeah. Burnout is so true though, dude. Burnout is so real, especially when video making is my full-time job, and I go home and I'm like, man, I just want to eat mac and cheese. Like I just want to like order some Taco Bell and like veg out and watch YouTube. But sometimes I have a video idea that I'm like, I really should do that. I should really do that. Yeah. Right.
So, what is your Taco Bell order?
Oh, okay. Okay. A cheesy gordita crunch. Always a cheesy gordita crunch.
Okay.
2 crunchy tacos, regular. Right. If I'm feeling like big back, particularly a chicken quesadilla. 0 sugar Baja Blast and cinnamon twist.
You
Oh,
gotta throw in the cinnamon twist. I
I
remember a
have
long
I
time
gotta
ago.
eat the cinnamon twist, man.
I worked at a Taco Bell for a few months, right?
Oh
And
man.
Ooh.
it was attached to a Burger King, and
Okay.
there's times where I
Oh
did
shit.
go to work a little too high for my own good. You know what I'm saying? So when it came time for lunch, and they allowed us to, make our own. Man,
Did
I
you
was
do like
throwing some
Burger?
shit in there.
Did you do like Burger
Oh,
King Taco Bell combos?
Whatever my
Oh
high
man.
mind was feeling
Nice.
that day. Like I would just look at things like this, you know what
Dude.
I'm saying? Like, this is happening. People would look
Whopper
at me
Wrap
like, what?
Supreme. Yo.
Yeah, they'd be like, what's that? Where can I order that? I'm like, absolutely nowhere. You know?
It's only exists in my mind,
Yeah, and if you want it, you're gonna have to go next door, buy the stuff, and then it's gonna cost you. It's like a $50 burrito right here. You know what I'm saying? Like I got you if you want it. You know, I mean, hey, that's the creative mind of mine as well. That's why I smoke before I do anything. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah,
never
yeah,
need
yeah,
to
yeah.
know. You never know when you gotta be creative. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's like it's like a Swiss Army knife. You gotta just pull it out sometimes and use it
Mhm.
to whatever the hell you need it for. Now,
Whopperito.
yeah, and then you gotta have the nacho fries to go with it. Them Dorito
Oh,
fries.
mm,
That's a
yeah.
that's a must. That was the cherry on top to whatever the hell I decided to make. If they had the nacho fries, I was making something.
Nice. Earl, what's your?
But yeah. What's your Taco Bell order?
I've been a fan of the chalupa for like ever, so
Uh-huh.
the two
I get
chalupa
it.
meal, and then,
Okay.
Nice.
and then sometimes like if I'm feeling big back, the 5-layer burrito, and in addition,
Okay.
and of course,
They should have a big back menu. Like,
they should
you
have
know,
big back.
I'm
That's
gonna
such a
tag
good
Taco Bell
idea.
corporate. Y'all need the big back menu. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Keep
like
it a
Jack in the
secret
Box
menu.
with their munchie meals. Right?
Munchie menu. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Only available
Have the
after
big
10
back
o'clock.
menu.
Yeah.
From 10 to 2 a.m., you got the big back meal. It's on their screen. It's everywhere.
Hell
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Now
You
we're
know.
talking.
Big back meal.
Taco Bell Big Bag
like
meal.
consult the physician. The Taco Bell Big Back. Check your local Taco Bell. Absolutely. Just
Oh,
DoorDash
now
the
we're
Taco Bell Big Back.
now we're talking. That's
Oh yeah, yeah. Listen,
Coming up with
you want to?
ideas. That's
That's it. Taco Bell. You want to increase profits? You got to watch this show.
Back menu.
Well, it's the Big Back menu available after 10 p.m. You know what I'm saying? Hey, didn't McDonald's just release adult Happy Meals, kind of?
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah, they made these Happy Meals specifically for adults, where it was like Big Macs and all that. We need Big Back menus. Some one of you guys, McDonald's, Taco Bell's, need to put out the exclusive Big Back Supreme menu.
for
You know
sure.
what I'm saying?
I mean, the Taco Bell headquarters is here in Southern California, I think.
That's true.
There you go.
It's
Just
in Orange
knock on the
County.
door,
It's like
be like,
Awesome.
listen,
just slip
don't
this
even need a
slip
new
this bit of the
menu.
episode in. Yeah.
yeah, you got everything. Just mash it together and you just give it a number. You know what I'm saying? Like, give it a number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
For
But,
sure.
You guys, I feel have a more like background in film and things like that. Will you ever take a comic book and kind of say, "Fuck it, let's make a movie out of this"? Was that something you guys will do, maybe do?
Like any
No,
other
see,
comic book
no,
besides. Yeah.
No, like, let's say you guys came up with, you had your own project or somebody else's project. Like, would you guys make that into a movie?
Yeah. I like.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah. No, I mean, like, just it depends on the project, of course. Depends on the comic. Like, obviously, like
Mm-hmm.
we would love Lineage to be, go on either the big screen or like even television, which would be rad.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like I like other people's stuff as well. So it would, if given the
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, I would jump at
Yeah.
it.
Nice, 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 nice.
I
Yeah,
mean, that's.
because
I'm not going to say that's always a dream, but I mean that is, yeah, that is one that is definitely a dream to like take something
Mm-hmm.
from, an idea all the way to
Mm,
the screen.
Yeah.
yeah,
Nah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That will be
Nah.
amazing. Even if it's not a comic book, like if you write a novel or whatever, and then it
Yeah.
comes
hmm
back to the screen. I mean, it's absolutely. So
yeah,
I think
Nice.
that's just the way people, or us in the industry, look at it as filmmakers.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
You want to eventually get something that you're working on to the screen.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
form it is, it could be
Yeah.
live action, animated. And,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I got some
for sure.
stories. We can make something work. You know what I'm saying? Not cause we all see the big budget movies, but sometimes like, you've got these stories, whether they're novels or comic books, where you don't even need that pizzazz. Or like you could, the story alone is great enough just for the story to make it to a something visual. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Yeah, that's what I always kind of, making my comics. I kind of try to put myself in that headspace. Like if I can't see it in the pan on the screen, it's hard for me to see it on the panels. You know what I'm saying? I'm a
Sure.
movie head. I love movies.
hmm
I love movies. That's. I would love to make movies off my stuff. Oh my God, would
Oh,
I?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had a friend of mine. He was a huge fan of my music back in the day. He had at the time, because you're talking early 2000s, like 2002, like the beginning of 2000s, early. He had at the time one of the biggest hip hop websites slash message boards. He was a huge fan, and then eventually he got into producing and directing like independent films out in Cali, So I would always try to like pick his brain and things like that. Like this is definitely I'm not gonna feel fully accomplished unless I do something like this. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I would love to put a movie or a show or use a YouTube, anything, something visual. To
Right.
me, I think it is probably my ultimate goal. Like
Sure. Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
music was, the music is that's for your ears, the comics for your eyes, and I want the film for like I feel like that's both together.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you could you're seeing the movie, but you're feeling the not just the acting, but just the soundtracks that are involved and all the aspects into putting the movie together, man. Like attacking all your senses that's a project that I would love to get done eventually, man. That's
Oh
a
yeah.
dream. I mean, to me, that's a dream.
I mean, it all starts with a script. It all
Yep.
starts with that script.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a couple of songs in movie soundtracks, but I want to make one for myself.
Of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a
You know what I'm
dope
saying?
feeling,
Like I
man.
take my
Yeah.
iPhone out sometimes because he would tell me, he's like, you don't need all that equipment, man. Take your damn iPhone and go film something. And I'm like, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Like I try
Oh
to
yeah.
make my own music videos, like trying to get into that director headspace. Like, no,
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, yeah.
We gotta, what I'm saying? Like it's gotta be like this, Like I remember I directed my first music video, and then on one of the scenes, I was like, all right, we gotta act like you're jumping this guy. Unfortunately, I'm trying to kick this ass for real, and
No, I
had to
said
explain
act.
to my
I
mom.
said act. Act like you're jumping
Yeah,
him.
and then I had to I had to explain to my mother why her friend's son got his ass whooped. And I'm like, yeah, method acting. It was method acting. It was method acting. It had to look real for the shot, and it looked authentic. I mean, it was. You know what I'm saying? The ass whooping was sadly authentic, but but before we wrap up, man, I like to, one thing about this podcast too, like, I want to make this a space for creators, whether they brand new to the game or kind of looking for some sort of lane. I like to always ask my guests, like, you have any advice, any gems that you could give to whoever is watching or listening to this, on their podcast platforms. Like, sometimes they just looking just to start a foundation somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And because my experience, this has been a massive, starting off as a headache. You don't kind of, I don't know what you're doing. You kind of like learning as you go, and sometimes those walls you hit tend to hurt your pockets as well. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a very expensive thing to get into. Is creating your own project. So do you have any gems you could give any listeners out there, to help them with their goals?
I think that I feel like I say this a lot, but it really is, you just got to start. You just got to start, and it doesn't have to be at a particular level. It can be crappy at first, or what you think is crappy, as long as you're starting. Yeah. Because if you're gonna sit there and wait for something to be perfect, you're never gonna do it. Yeah. So just start, a fact, and you will learn, how to get better, like, over the course of the time. It is better to keep on doing things and improve slowly along the way. Rather than just sitting there and like having this idea in your head just stew for the longest time and having nobody see it. Agree. I think that, it's not about making things perfect. It's about being, it's not about being perfect when you put things out. It's about being consistent.
Exactly. Yeah. That's 100% right there. That's a gem if I seen it. Yeah. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Justin?
To kind of add that to that with Earl, it's like every failure in your creative endeavors is still one step closer to getting what you wanted, getting it right. Yeah. So I feel like, look, the conversation of AI in art at the moment is a big one. But if I could say anything about why you should still try to do it on your own, as opposed to just putting it on a thing and letting it generate, is that why deny the creative satisfaction that you will have when you are one step closer to the creative projects you want to do? Like, I wrote really bad short films. I wrote really bad scripts. I drew really terrible comics. I made really bad edits, directed really bad things. So I can feel a little more confident doing it now. But I feel confident doing it now. And every time I get just a little bit more, just a little bit closer to how I want it to look, I feel like I've accomplished a billion things. And that is why you get into, if you love being creative, that's why you do it. It's that when you do that thing and you just are that much closer to how you want it to be, nothing feels better than that. Absolutely nothing. So just fail. Right. Fail a lot, but you will get there. But you will get there. I swear to God, you're going to get there. You just got to understand you're going to fail, and that's totally cool, because that failure you did 100 years ago is not what you're going to do now. And that's how you get better, and that's how you're going to feel more fulfilled.
I will add to that. And it's like, when you do fail, like, know why you failed.
Yeah.
Please know why you failed.
Yeah. Don't keep making the same mistakes, because then that's just, the definition of just being out of your damn mind at that point, Adapt. Learn from your mistakes, because no one, I I mean, you probably got one or two, but for the most part, no one really comes in knowing 100% what the hell they're
Right.
doing. You know what I'm saying? The game changes from day to day.
Mhm.
What was cool and what worked yesterday is most likely not working tomorrow.
Yeah.
And that for real. Like I started doing my comic books in 2015. Yeah, again, I just realized how long I've been doing this. And then COVID hit. I stopped. I focused on my entertainment degree and got that out the way. And then I just came back and I realized the game changed over the past couple years. You know, like I had to completely reevaluate my original hustle method than I had into how I was putting out and marketing my comics. It's not the same as it was back in 2019, you know, and it's you gotta stay up to date, you know what I'm saying? You gotta ride these waves, man. But you know, Earl and Justin, I wanna thank you guys for joining me today. It was awesome. Please send me your links because I want to
Absolutely,
check out these videos, man. And I'm also gonna put them, you know, on the descriptions, you know, especially for the comic book and all that. But you guys, once again,
Thank you.
man, it's
here,
been
man.
great. It's
Thank you.
been great.
Thanks for
You know
having
what I'm
us.
saying? I'm gonna tag Taco Bell in this. I really am gonna tag them in this. Like you guys need,
Big
you
back
know.
menu.
Yeah,
Big
we
Mac
need the
menu.
big back menu. We need that available summer 2026. Come on, it's getting hot out here. You know what I'm saying? But on that note, guys, I want to, you know, wish y'all a great rest of your day. And,
You too.
you know, I'll keep you guys updated. And then I'll catch y'all up on the next episode when we have y'all back on.
100%. Thank you so much, man.
Take care,
All right,
dude.
have a good one.
All right.
Show, that was another banging episode. And we definitely gotta tag Taco Bell in this. Y'all need to bring that big back menu. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Don't forget to check out everybody's links in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And also don't forget to check out the website villainarchives.com. Once again, it is your boy Mal. Thanks for joining us. And I'm out. Bong bong.